What's going on, guys? Crypto Renegade here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the crypto private key generation process, also known as the perfect key. We're going to cover the process of what 99% of BIP39 compatible wallets on the market use to generate your seed phrase, aka your private key, and why other wallets I prefer, like Ngrave 0, fundamentally changed the private key generation process for the better. And it also inherently makes your private key impervious to backdoors. No matter what you choose, the responsibility always lies with you. When you blame someone else, it's because you were not prepared or you were lazy. Simple as that. Don't let anyone take your power away from you. It's time to upset the established order. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of cryptocurrency private keys. Very sexy topic, I know. We're going to go on a journey to where I can help you explore the process of generating the perfect key and what that means. But before we begin, here's an interesting fact most people don't know about how cryptocurrency private keys are created. Did you know that the process of generating a crypto private key is much more complex than it seems? It involves advanced cryptographic algorithms and a touch of randomness. Remember that word. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's explore the secrets behind this crucial aspect of cryptocurrency and security. So to better understand how private keys are generated, let's start with a fundamental concept: randomness. Cryptocurrency wallets use various methods to generate random numbers, which form the basis for private key creation. One popular method is using the computer's random number generator, or RNG. However, this approach has its risks as it relies heavily on the computer's inherent algorithm, which can be susceptible to manipulation. To mitigate this risk, some wallets employ hardware-based random number generators. These devices use physical phenomena such as atmospheric noise or radioactive decay and other factors to generate truly random numbers. This ensures a higher level of security and reduces the chance of someone predicting or manipulating the private key during its creation. To better understand the private key generation process, let's start with an overview of how it all works. Cryptocurrency private keys are randomly generated strings of numbers and letters. These keys are used, cryptographically secured, to secure your digital assets and provide access to your funds. Now, different wallets employ various methods, so let's explore a few of the popular ones. One of the most well-known OG wallets is Bitcoin Core. It uses a process called elliptic curve multiplication to generate private keys. This method is based on advanced mathematical calculations. Another popular wallet is Ethereum's Metamask, and it uses a hierarchical deterministic algorithm, or HD, allowing users to generate multiple private keys from a single seed phrase. Now, if you're watching this, you're most likely using an HD wallet, as it's the most popular and easy to use. Let's not forget about hardware wallets like Ngrave and Trezor. These physical devices provide an extra layer of security by storing private keys offline. They use a combination of random number generation and secure chip technology to ensure the highest level of protection for your assets. Now, you might be wondering what makes the perfect private key. While randomness is crucial, it's equally important to strike a balance between security and ease of use. Some wallets even allow users to add an additional layer of security by incorporating multi-signature functionality. But the question I get day after day is, how do we know the private key is not stored on a database somewhere? How do we know that the security element chip manufacturers are not in bed with their respective governments in their respective jurisdictions to create a backdoor? And how can I trust that these so-called random number generators are not rigged? These are the same types of questions I started asking very early on. Here's a clip from a video that I did over a year ago that demonstrates how this process works, at least with Ngrave, as they are the ones who have done it best, in my opinion.
The first truly end-to-end security solution for your crypto private keys. It starts with the private key generation being offline, using both external factors like light and entropy, and the ability to pause the random key generation and interact with the device in a way that is literally impossible to predict from their end.
So as you can see in that clip, they utilize multiple factors outside of the device itself to generate this private key during this process. Factors that cannot be faked, they can't be duplicated, and most importantly, with AI on the rise, factors that cannot be predicted. Now, how is that? Well, because it requires biometric data that is specific to you, such as your fingerprint. It requires light entropy through the front camera that adds in variables to be calculated to determine how bright, how dark is the light flickering, and so on, to calibrate to your personal external environment. Not only that, on the screen setup, the key is not actually created until you authorize the keys to stop. So what do I mean by that? Well, the keys are changing at over 200 times per minute in several sections. You can pause, unpause, wait, and change the order in which you do so, none of which can be recorded or predicted ahead of time. It's impossible to know what each user individually might do in that scenario. This gives me such significant confidence to know how much care and thought went into this process that indicates to me that it cannot be faked. There are too many variables and controlled inputs from the user side to ever be able to do that. Even if you happen to know the user and their own personal habits, it's not gonna happen. That's like a 5-factor authentication method in just the key generation process. Now, needless to say, when I experienced this for the first time, I was thoroughly impressed, and I knew that this was fundamentally different from any other wallet, hot or cold out there today. This process is known as the perfect key, which Ngrave has created and should answer the question most of you ask me day after day, which is, why do you like Ngrave so much? They solved 99.9% of every doubtful question or issue I had with any wallet that came before it. But to be fair, what about that 0.1%? Well, there is no silver bullet. There is no such thing as a perfect security solution. It doesn't exist. But this is the closest thing I've found. Now, of course, there are several other factors and variables that determine how secure someone's wallet is. And a lot of that is determined by how smart and how prepared the user is for when that unthinkable scenario happens, like the notorious $5 wrench attack. Now, there are other wallets that use external factors to help the private key generation process that utilize randomness. They cannot be predicted, same as what Ngrave uses within the chip. So I can't give all the credit to Ngrave, they're the ones that just perfected it. But for your own edification, another wallet example that allows for this to happen is known as the Keystone Pro, using a method known as the DieScore. And both of these wallets all have linked with the best possible deal down in the description if you're interested. But let's get back to this DieScore. In simple terms, this is a manual process of generating your private key where you physically roll a dice on a table up to 120 times, inputting the results of the number on a sheet of paper and then inputting those numbers manually using an open source tool that will create the seed phrase based on the random results that you get. Now, these tools are only designed for very skilled users who have plenty of experience and understand cryptography and private keys. So if you decide to use this method via Keystone, make sure you read the instructions and article I've sent fully linked in the description below. Now, I hope this gives you some clarity on how different wallets take different approaches to security, and more importantly, how they generate their private keys in each instance. Some of them are not open source and do not disclose this process. So there is still gonna be a voice of, hey, trust me, bro, implied when you start using, say, Metamask, for example. But there you have it. These are a few examples of the perfect crypto private key that we've explored in this process and generating these keys, and of course going over with you different methods used by popular wallets, and learned hopefully something about the importance of striking a balance between security and usability. Remember, your private key is like your key to your digital safe, so it's crucial to keep it secure and choose not only a trustworthy wallet that you've personally vetted, but remember, it's the keys to the kingdom. If you lose it, it's gone. There's no going back. And this is where personal responsibility comes in. And if you need help to where to start with that, check out my free ebook in the description. 100% free, and it'll walk you through this step by step. That's all for today's video. I hope this sheds some light on how private key and their generation process work in most cases and why it matters. Now let me know down in the comments which type of wallet you prefer and why. And of course, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, because I do have some more exciting content that I'm working on and is coming very soon. And until next time, stay safe, protect your private keys. Oh, and by the way, on the topic of open source, click right here on the screen to see my recent news about my favorite crypto wallet, the Engrave Zero, going open source. I will see you guys in that video right now. Crypto Renegade out.